Hannah didn't always talk a lot. She is the kind of person who will listen to you and figure out what you mean, no matter how silly your words sound. I admire her poise. Just like her name, she is the best example of a woman because she is kind, quiet, and humble. But to people who don't know her, she's a bit of a mystery. We've been friends for 20 years, but since we left high school, we haven't seen each other much. We talk more than most of my other friends, though. We just recently talked about our high school crushes, then about our kids, and then about our current relationships. The line went silent suddenly. Hannah cried and broke down. It seemed like she could no longer handle her feelings. My friend has always been happy, and she's never told me anything bad that was going on in her life, except when her kids were being bad. I tried to give her comfort. I told her she could talk to me about her problems. God knows that when I need a friend, she's always there for me. I let her cry while I tried to figure out what was wrong with her. My perfect, helpful, and good friend's wife needed help, so I gave her mine. After hearing what she said, I felt my range that night. Her husband was having an affair with a woman he had been with for a long time. He told her that the women were best friends, so she let them into her house. She made friends with the woman so she wouldn't be that jealous wife who tries to figure out who her husband should hang out with. They kept everything in order and didn't leave any traces that could have led back to them. What did you learn? I inquired. I don't know much about her husband beyond what Hannah has told me. I thought that whoever Hannah chose must be good enough for her because she was smart and wise about who she chose. A friend of hers ran into her husband and his supposed best friend at a restaurant near Rockefeller Plaza and told her, about 25 miles from where they live. Her husband didn't know that she was friends with the woman who saw them, so he didn't know that Hannah knew what was going on. At first, Hannah didn't believe her friend, but she had no reason to lie. They had been married for 13 years. Before they got married, they dated for a year. She was shocked when she found out that her husband had been lying to her for years. She decided that she needed hard evidence before she could talk to her husband. She didn't tell anyone what she had found. She looked at her husband's financial records and found charges from expensive stores, spa appointments, and flights that she had never taken and didn't know about. She had no idea that her husband could be so sneaky and dishonest that he would keep secrets from her. She found out about the affair 3 years into their marriage, around the time she had her second child. The woman moved into their state at that time. She also found receipts from their recent trip to San Diego, which happened on the same day as their anniversary. Since the woman moved to their town, her husband has been paying her rent, but she had no idea. Hannah was broken. She didn't understand. She doesn't know if she should tell the truth to her husband. If you do that, you will have to leave the marriage. Or if she should keep the affair a secret and act like she is fine with it. It hurts to confront a cheating partner, but it must be done. I tried to see things from her point of view. I knew I couldn't keep making a fool of myself from every angle, and I told her that. At some point, she will have to get over her fears and talk to her husband face to face. Either she does that, or she will be hurt inside every time she sees her husband with his mistress for the rest of her life. I wanted to make my friend feel better, but I also wanted her to make a choice she won't regret. It can be dangerous to confront a partner who has been cheating. Most relationships can't get better after this kind of betrayal. But if it were me, and I found out that the man I married had lied to me, I would talk to him about it so I could start to heal. I don't see why I should keep telling lies and being dishonest when they hurt me. If your husband loves you, why did he cheat on you? A spouse who has been cheated on has too many questions. They can't turn it off until they get the answers they need. First, you ask something like, does he love her more than you? Why hasn't he gotten a divorce yet? Why did he hide the affair for so long if he was happier with her? Where did you go wrong? What doesn't he get from being married? Doesn't he still love you? When did he realize that he still loved his ex-girlfriend? Then, to make up for the affair, you try to make the other person feel bad. You think you did something to make him leave you and go with another woman. Have I been a good wife? You ask yourself. Perhaps he doesn't like the way I make his favorite dish. When he complained about blah blah blah, I shouldn't have argued with him. Perhaps I don't meet his sexual needs. Is it because I haven't paid attention to his needs? But no matter how many times you question yourself, you won't know the answer until you hear it from the person who did it. That night, when Hannah went on and on about all the questions she had, I told her I couldn't tell her why her husband had cheated on her. She was trying to explain why he had done what he did, but that will only make her feel worse. She's not even 40. She has a lot to do in her life. She doesn't deserve a man who uses her feelings against her. No one does. Let alone defend his actions. I could understand if he had an affair for a month or two, but it's just not okay for a married person to have an affair for more than a year. So instead of torturing yourself with questions that don't make sense, the best thing you can do is accept the truth. And decide whether you want to stay or leave. Can you forgive your husband for lying to you? Cheating puts a relationship on shaky ground. If someone has cheated on you more than once, it's hard to forgive them, but it's not impossible. A broken relationship will take time and work to fix, and both of you will have to keep trying. Most of the time, when we talk about forgiving, we mean for someone else. But no. Forgiveness helps you feel at peace. If you don't want the person who broke your trust to continue to control your life, then set yourself free by forgiving them and yourself. You need to forgive even if you don't forget. Since our memories keep track of everything we do and keep it for a long time, you may never forget that time you cheated. Even if you forgive them, the pain won't go away. No. You'll need to get better at that. But when you let go of the burning pain in your heart, new energy starts to flow through you. You start to feel hopeful about the next part of your life. First, if the cheater feels bad about what he did, he will have to end the affair. Then you need to find out how the relationship was before the affair. You were happy, but you thought there was something off about him. Or were there problems in the past that weren't solved? After you've done your evaluation, it's time to decide if the relationship is worth saving. I know that some people are quick to file for divorce, but sometimes an affair can show a couple new things about themselves that they can bring into their relationship to make it better. Don't blame yourself for what happened because you didn't do anything wrong. Your husband is an adult, so he knew what he was getting himself into when he married you. He didn't tell you about the affair because he knew the truth would hurt you. And don't make a choice too quickly. If you live with your husband, ask him to move out. This will give you time to think about what's going on. You need to be alone to fix the part of you that the betrayal broke. You also have other choices, like ethical non-monogamous relationships, E&M, if you want to explore your freedom like your husband did. In a marriage, women shouldn't be the only ones expected to be loyal and committed. But if you choose to stay with one person, you should be ready to change. You have to realize that the old relationship is over. A new one has started, and you and your husband will need to meet in the middle to make things better. It will be hard, but you are strong enough to get through it because you are brave enough to give your man a second chance after all he put you through.